Are you looking for the best Bluetooth speakers? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best Bluetooth speakers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Teenage Engineering OB4 Portable Bluetooth Speaker. In addition to its top-notch sound, no speaker I've tested looks nearly as good as the OB4, which has an old-fashioned minimalist boombox styling from Swedish electronics company Teenage Engineering. While playing film soundtracks, hip-hop, and classic rock, the sound quality remained consistently vibrant. For anyone who likes to be more hands-on with their listening, the OB4 also has more playback and recording functions than any other speaker that I've tried. You can pair it to your phone over Bluetooth, or use it as an FM radio. You can also use its line-in input for analog playback with devices like an old iPod or an instrument, and it has a looping function that lets you remix tracks right on the device using a rotating disc. That disc can also be used to manually rewind and fast-forward tracks, which I found myself fiddling with constantly. When you're spinning it, the speaker plays a delightful sound that makes it feel like you're rewinding a tape. Its other on-device controls for volume and pairing are reminiscent of old-school audio gear, and it's fun to play around with both. The handle, though thin, is strong and secure, so you don't have to worry about dropping the speaker as you lug it around. You can fold the handle toward the back of the speaker to turn it into a stand, though I haven't found that to be particularly useful. It's as much a decorative statement as it is a music device, and it's quite gorgeous. When I had it sitting on my shelf, I received multiple compliments on it. It loses some of its wow factor once you look at its price tag, but if you're a design-loving music nerd, this speaker checks every box. Number 2. JBL Boombox 3. When I'm having a gathering at my house, I usually pull out JBL's Boombox 3, the largest and loudest speaker I've tested so far. Even if you're not blasting music, I rarely do. Its extra volume lets the sound carry across the house so nobody's left out. At 13 pounds, it's significantly heavier than any other speaker we recommend, but it has an easy-to-grip handle that balances the weight so it's not unwieldy. And all that extra heft pays off. That boost in volume doesn't come at the expense of sound quality. At 40% volume, it's louder than smaller speakers at maximum volume, and it's hard to imagine many scenarios that would necessitate cranking it to 100%. The bass is heavy without overpowering other frequencies, and vocals sound crisp from up to a few hundred feet away. If you have another JBL speaker, like the Pulse 5 or Authentics 300, you can even pair them together for a richer sound, though they have to stay pretty close to each other, so you shouldn't use this as a way to carry tunes between rooms. Sonos is better for that. Its battery can last up to 24 hours on a single charge, and still lasted a couple hours after being inactive for a month. And it has a USB-A port you can use to charge your devices if you take this speaker with you on the road, or a visitor needs a quick charge before heading home. Because of its size and my small home, I had a difficult time finding a place to put it, which isn't a problem with smaller speakers. If you're limited on space but want a loud speaker, the Ultimate Ears Megaboom and JBL Authentics 300 are better options. Number 3. Edifier R1700 BT Bluetooth Bookshelf Speakers. As great as Bluetooth speakers are, I still turn to my trusty bookshelf speakers whenever I want to spin a record. Jake Sullivan, co-owner of Wooden Tooth Records in Tucson, Arizona, recommends Edifiers R1700 BT. He sells them in his shop and says customers love them. It's the perfect price point for somebody who's getting a new turntable or speaker system but doesn't want to blow their budget, he says, adding that despite their compact size, they're loud enough to fill a room. If you want to connect these speakers to a turntable that's not Bluetooth enabled, which is most of them, they have inputs for traditional stereo cables. The added Bluetooth functionality is handy for when you're not playing a record, so you can blast a playlist or two straight from your phone without having to switch to a separate speaker. The right speaker has a side panel for controlling the volume as well as bass and treble levels. There's also a wireless remote you can use to adjust those same levels, plus toggle the mute function and switch input devices. Unlike other speakers we recommend, these speakers don't have a built-in battery, so you'll need to connect the R1700 BT to a power source. Number 4. JBL Pulse 5. No Bluetooth speaker has caught my eye as much as JBL's Pulse 5, which looks like a modern take on a lava lamp and sounds as good as it looks. It's bulkier than most of our other picks, standing at 8.5 inches tall, but that's to its benefit. Its bright, cylindrical array of lights play a variety of animations, including spinning rings of different colors, lights that look like clouds moving through a blue sky, and pulsing dots. You can also change the tempo of the animations to better match the vibe of your room, though every tempo syncs to your current song automatically. It goes beyond just being a nice bit of decoration, it's a solid speaker, too. In my testing, it performed well across a variety of genres, including classical, synth-pop, hip-hop, and rock, with minor discrepancies on higher frequency notes but nothing too noticeable. It's not as portable as the Wonderboom, Clip, or Go, but it's notably louder and its sound is richer, plus that extra size makes for a better light show, which is the main attraction. This speaker is also shockingly durable. My mom gifted one to my sister last year to entertain her toddler, and my niece loves dancing while the lights flash. She also likes to toss and roll the speaker around, all of which it has survived without any noticeable damage. Number 5. JBL Authentics 300. For those who talk to their speakers as much as they listen, JBL's Authentics 300 speaker balances functionality, good looks, and quality sound in a relatively portable design. It's bigger than every other speaker we recommend, aside from JBL's Boombox, but that also gives it louder sound, and the included handle makes it easy to tote around the house, but note that it weighs nearly 11 pounds. That handle is easier to grip than the one on the Move 2, though given the Authentics' larger size, the Move 2 is easier to take with you when you leave the house. If you do want to travel with the Authentics 300, it's small enough to store behind the passenger seat. Of the speakers I've tested, this one's classy 70s style makes the Authentics 300 one of my favorites to display. The front of the speaker is covered in a patterned fabric that's reminiscent of JBL's classic L100 bookshelf speaker, and the top has 3 large knobs you can turn to control the volume, as well as the speaker's treble and bass levels. Each knob has an LED that wraps around the dial and lights up to indicate the current levels for each toggle. The controls on the 300 are more fun to play with than the clicky buttons of the Wonderboom 4 and Clip 5, but I prefer the dials on the Teenage Engineering OB4 of all the speaker controls I've tried. Sound on the Authentics 300 is loud and impressive. While blasting music at 80% volume from my living room, I could hear it from across my 3-bedroom home, and in some cases, podcasts were discernible as well. Given its size, it makes sense that the speaker is louder than the Move 2 or Pulse 5. But I've been impressed with how clear the sound remains, even at high volumes. The speaker's defining feature is its ability to connect to both Google Assistant and Alexa. I've found that Alexa is better for controlling smart home gear like light bulbs and robot vacuums, but I prefer Google Assistant for asking general questions and getting info about the weather. While alternating between the assistants in succession, responses were as quick as they are with a dedicated smart speaker like the Echo Dot or Nest Hub. The Authentics also has an Ethernet port if you want to make sure it has a reliable internet connection. On the other hand, if you want to disable this speaker's smart features altogether, there's a switch to turn off the microphone on the back, which is not something many speakers with microphones offer. Unfortunately, unlike most speakers we recommend, the Authentics 300 doesn't have any official IP rating, so I wouldn't recommend bringing this speaker anywhere it might get wet. Number 6. Sonos Move 2. The Sonos Move 2 is the best-sounding Bluetooth speaker I use on a regular basis. It's significantly larger than even the UE Megaboom, though much smaller than the JBL Boombox, so you probably won't want to take it with you on your weekend getaway, but it's still small enough to carry from room to room, and the built-in handle lets you do so easily. I'm also impressed that, unlike nearly every other speaker I've tested, the Move 2 has a removable battery, which should make it straightforward to replace. To do so on most other speakers, you'd have to buy a third-party kit and do it yourself. While the Move 2 is pricier than similar-sized speakers like the JBL Pulse 5, its sound is unmatched. The bass is loud and powerful, vocals sound crisp, and everything sounds clear even at full volume. The Move 2 has all of Sonos' smart features, like multi-speaker pairing and adaptive audio, altering the sound to fit your room, and can easily be controlled and adjusted from within the Sonos app. It also has direct Amazon Alexa integration, so you can use it as your main smart speaker, and AirPlay integration that lets you stream directly from your Apple devices without having to pair over Bluetooth. Given its name, it's no surprise that the Move 2 is so easy to lug around, but its charging method isn't quite as mobile. Instead of using a simple charging cable like most companies, Sonos gave the Move 2 a docking station, which is basically a ring that you plop the bottom of the speaker into when it needs to charge. With an IP rating of IP56, it's not as protected from the elements as the Pulse 5 or the Mega Boom, but it's still protected from heavy jets of water, so it should be safe from some raindrops, but not from a drop in the pool.